Welcome to Home's Room. Just like Homeroom, we start off our day getting together with our homies, swapping stories, even a little kiss and tell action. This podcast contains language not suitable for younger listeners, topics about sex and mental health. Discretion is advised. Our views are our own. Let class begin.
Sorry, I had to hit you with another one because we did it the last time. Welcome to Home's Room. We are here again with another Halloween episode, and I'm joined by Podcast Barbie. Is that what we're gonna call you?
Sure, let's call it that. I was going for like a super extra 90s Barbie, which is what I played with and what I did in my brand. So I'm guessing we're recording this way ahead of time, so I'm guessing what everybody else is going to dress up as this year. I'm guessing that Barbie's going to be a huge hit, so I'm just gonna go with the flow. And I am Podcast Barbie today. Hi, what's up?
Awesome. I am really tired, Holmes. That's what I am for this episode.
Tell us why you're tired, Matt.
I stupidly decided to, after 9 months of not skating, join a team to skate in USARS Nationals, which is a roller derby tournament under the rule set of USARS, which is like the Olympic version of roller derby. So and it's like top level teams, and it was a fun weekend, but a very hard weekend, especially being out of shape. And when I say out of shape, everybody yells at me because they're like, "You're not out of shape." To be in the shape to skate fast competitively, you have to be in really good shape. So any athlete you see doing any sport competitively, they have to be in the shape to play that sport. I am not in that shape, so I am definitely like, so we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. But
you just need a little extra like day or two to recover, right?
Yeah, that's what I had. This is my day 2, and then I got to go to work tomorrow, so we'll see. But I have Wednesdays off, so I purposely set this up so I have to go to work one day, and then I can figure out the rest of the week. So, but yeah. Anything going on with you, Podcast Barbie?
No, we are rocking and rolling, doing the hard, heavy work of trying to heal, Matt, which is so hard, you know?
Yeah.
I am currently in marriage counseling with my husband, and we had a session today, so we keep it real here on Home's Room. I've had like 1 or 2 other conversations with the fact that we're in marriage counseling, and one of my friends, Emma, who did my hair. Hey, what's up? Love you. Emma O'Toole. Anyone in St. Louis is looking for a good hairdresser? What's up? She was so thankful that I opened up she's newly married. She and her new husband, Brian, are only married like 2 months, 3 months. Luke and I are going on 3 years, and we're in marriage counseling. And she's like, I really wish people would talk more about it, because as soon as you say marriage counseling, it's like this whole thing of what's wrong. You know? Yeah. So it's been super educational. We are going because the last 1.5 years of our lives has been insane. My dad died. We had a second kid unexpectedly. Life's insane. My mental health has been improving, but is still, you know, obviously dealing with grief and trauma and all of the fun things that come with that. We are not the same people that we were a very short time ago, and we both struggle to communicate openly to each other. So we're to a point in our lives where the survival mode that we developed after my dad died just to get by is no longer serving us. It's no longer serving my marriage. It's no longer serving my husband. It's no longer serving us as a family unit. And we're trying to transition away from that into, I guess, our new normal. Our new definition of normal is what people would call it. But something that looks more along the lines of what life looked like when my husband and I were teammates, and we were splitting all of the caretaking pretty evenly. So that's been wonderful. I bring it up because I had a great session today, and I just want to be super open about all of that. I'm also back in therapy, just as myself individually. And I was talking to our counselor today, and she said, it sounds like you've had a really, maybe like a bad last week and a half, 2 weeks with your mental health. And I said, yeah, it's just, I feel like I've done so much hard work to heal and resolve all this shit that I'm shoveling through. And she brings up this whole other thing about how post-traumatic stress disorder and depression coexist together, and how you think it's one thing and it's maybe the other, and how PTSD makes everyone hypervigilant, which makes you when you're coming down from that, so insanely exhausted. And I was like, well, here's another fucking thing I gotta.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm doing well. We are, I'm going through this fun exercise where I have to actually start like thinking positive things about myself and doing positive affirmations and giving myself the benefit of the doubt. And, in all things, too, with sobriety, I've found that complete abstinence elevates it to like this big scary thing that I just crave. So, as part of me trying not to be so hard on myself too, I've started drinking beer again, being completely open. But I am staying away fully from liquor. So partially sober,
Yeah.
Definitely doing all things in, what is it? Not doses, but all things in,
Moderation.
yes, moderation. Thank you, Matt. Learning new things all the time in your nose room. So, yeah, it's going to be an uncomfortable shift to be nice to myself and be my biggest cheerleader, biggest advocate. And it's so interesting that I can do it so easily for other people, but I really struggle to do it with myself. So is that anything that you've ever struggled with, Matt?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, just this last weekend, I was kind of hard on myself about the way I played. There's like, I wish I played better. I know I could have done better, and I'd like regretfully, I mean, like I took 9 months off, obviously. So like I have to give myself the credit that like, if I had been skating this last 9 months, I would have been a different player out there. I would have been faster. I would have been more agile. I would have been able to read the plays differently. And I have to be nice to myself and be like, but like, also I just did this thing that like I haven't been doing for a really long time. So, there's that. And, just stuff in general. I don't know. I'm really bad about being a cheerleader for myself because I'm already kind of arrogant in ways because I know what I'm capable of. So I usually try and like, oh no, whatever. But I don't know. It's such a slippery slope because trying to be your own cheerleader, it's like, am I gaslighting myself? Am I not? Am I? And that, like I said, it's a hard thing. I will say that I am proud of you, and I see the work that you're doing, and I know that it's not easy. And these like weekly check-ins that we get to do as, co-hosts of this podcast, it's like, watching a plant grow and seeing the changes in it. And it's like, oh, there's a new leaf. Oh, that leaf doesn't look so good. And then that leaf dropped off, and now there's new growth underneath that leaf. So like, I personally like it. And you talking about, your therapy and, mental health battles and whatnot is like super on point for today, because today the episode of availability of help or Home's Room with Therapy dropped, and I got good feedback from it. A lot of people were like, man, that's such a hard subject for anybody to talk about, and you guys made it seem easy. You guys like definitely, had a good conversation about it. Or people were a couple of people said almost identically the same thing, where they thought that, our points were so like both sides of the coin for them, and they struggle with, but also have had experience with. And I think that, just being able to reach out and say, I related to, what you guys were saying, like that was good. And I'm enjoying that. Like, that's what we're starting to get. So I hope we continue to get that. And I hope more people decide to reach out and say something. So keep being you, keep being honest.
You too, Matt. Thank you so much for just allowing me the opportunity to brain dump.
Yeah.
When did we record that episode that dropped today?
That would have been April, I think. I think it would have been April.
No, this is July. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was listening to that episode on my drive into work, and it was really helpful for me to go back and re-listen to that conversation between the two of us. Definitely some things that you said, I was like, yeah, I needed to hear that again. But also like bittersweet listening to myself, the things that I was struggling with specific to that episode and those past conversations about things that we, kind of worked through in therapy. I'm happy that they're not as prevalent, and maybe I've like coped and, have better coping mechanisms with some of those things. So that is still definitely growth. But then I'm also playing devil's advocate, and I'm like, damn, if only April Kaitlin could see the hot mess that fucking July Kaitlin is. So thank you also for that, because this is a super unique, not necessarily like time travel experiment, but just like being able to record an hour-long conversation with my friend Matt and then months later get to hear it again has been like kind of a trip. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I enjoy it. I'm right there with you, buddy. Right there with you. I don't know. It's such a heavy topic, and I think that I obviously listen to the episodes after we record them and edit them and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I love is like I can see the growth in each of us, but also the growth in our relationship and things that you're like willing to say, and things that like when we do listen back to them now, it's like I can hear the point that you were trying to make, but like kind of like skirting on the edge of, because you didn't know if you could or couldn't make that point, to where we are now, and how open the conversation is. And I love that is hopefully people also growing with us. So
as the clip you put on Instagram this morning is just me like mouthing up to like, I'm an open book, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But yes, I absolutely agree. And I think it's been really interesting to hear from you and kind of see some of the feedback on these episodes too. So we're always willing to hear any feedback, good, bad, and different, suggestions for topics, questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. We're always here to entertain.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Unfortunately, moving on, because that was a good conversation I would love to keep having for a later
All
date.
good.
We'll bookmark it. Back to the Halloween episodes. This is the second of our Halloween like ghost stories to start, and a topic. So the topic today, I am using this podcast as motivation to get my third book out. So hopefully by the time that this drops, it will be just a few weeks before the third book is out. And that's a heavy like workload to get done, because I'm not an artist when it comes to like drawing. So I have to figure out the art. I have to do something. And I got this time. I got this story that's finished. So we're going to talk about zombies. We're going to talk about, the book and how that stuff kind of content wise comes to be and whatnot, and get some of Caitlin's opinions. Cause like, I don't know anything about her zombie fandom, lack thereof, or whatever. So I'm really, really curious about it. And maybe by talking about it, somebody listening is like, oh, hey, this actually might be a book for me. But yeah, so first things first, ghost stories. You ready? You ready for the first one? You got any questions?
No, I will just preface any conversation about zombies, letting you know that I have vivid nightmares that I wake up in cold sweats about, with only two topics. The first one is floating in space, not connected to anything. And the second one is the zombie apocalypse. So
yeah,
that bodes well.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can like dissect that a little bit. I'm into that. I had to do, that's what the books came from, is me dissecting what my zombie dreams were. So we'll see. But yeah, so I'm going to tell this story, but I'm going to put you on the task that I love to put you on, and Googling something for me. So poltergeist activity. And I don't know this like the textbook definition, which is why I want you to look it up. But basically, it's stuff moving around, going bump in the night, that kind of thing is usually a poltergeist. And
Okay.
while a poltergeist is not a thing, it is a type of haunting. I said I'm just curious as what the textbook definition of that is before we tell this first story. And again, I love telling the stories I have the the witnesses for, because if I don't have witnesses, then it's just me telling a story.
Well, then it's also, I feel like anything like kind of paranormal, and I was doing this last episode too, so I will own up to it, that it's just like, if nobody else that is there to like validate your experience or kind of echo that they also observed, like kind of tying back into our mental illness conversation. But like, I feel like that's what people kind of immediately run to. So, all right. Poltergeist activity list. Let's see. In ghost lore, a poltergeist, which is a German word for, quote, rumbling ghost or noisy spirit, end quote, is a type of ghost or spirit that is responsible for physical disturbances, such as loud noises and objects being moved or destroyed. Most claims or fictional descriptions of poltergeists show them as being capable of pinching, biting, hitting, and tripping people. They are also depicted as capable of the movement or levitation of objects, such as furniture and cutlery, or noises such as knocking on doors. Foul smells are also associated with poltergeist occurrences, as well as spontaneous fires, and different electrical issues, such as flashing lights.
Yeah. So it's pretty not close, but my first one is a little poltergeisty activity, and this one is Courtney's favorite. And like I said, Courtney had experiences, but very seldom and like few and far between. I had experiences all my life, so like to me it was nothing new. But we were sitting on a couch. It was her, me, and my best friend. We were watching TV. We'd probably been in the same spots for like, I don't know, maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, because we were just like chilling at home. Is like none of us had anything to do, so we were just minding our business. And we had one of those big old TVs that has like the like what kids today would be like, what's that box on the back of your TV? That like big deep like tube TV, and an entertainment center. So like think maybe 2.5 feet deep entertainment center, probably like 4.5 feet tall by like 4.5 feet wide entertainment center. And I had cars lined up across the top of it, like 1/18 scale cars, so like maybe 9-inch long cars by like 3-inch tall. And behind all of those was a shot glass. And while we were sitting there watching TV, we all kind of at the same time look up, and as we look up, inside of that shot glass was a marble. This marble jumps out of the shot glass and lands 2 feet in front of the entertainment center. So it flew a total of probably 4 feet, plus whatever it needed to get up and out of the shot glass. All three of us looked at each other like, did you just fucking see that? Did that just really happen? And we spent the next 15 to 20 minutes trying to figure out how a glass marble, not a metal marble, not a ball bearing, a glass marble, shot out of a glass shot glass and landed that far with no explanation. And like I said, Courtney's favorite story to tell, because we could not explain it. And the three of us all saw it. It happened in front of all of us. So yeah.
Holy shit. So you said Courtney had some kind of experience with things like this happening to her before she met you. Was it like less to a lesser degree, or like,
oh, yeah, for sure.
did you two get together and she was like, who the hell is this man introducing me to,
Yeah. To my knowledge, I think she just kind of like saw some stuff, but it was more like quick flashes of something, like a shadow person or something like that. Like I don't think that she saw anything crazy. Definitely not like what I saw and what she's seen since being like together with me. So there's that part. That funny that you mentioned that, because in that particular house, it was a 2-bedroom townhouse. We had a bunch of movie stuff like posters and standees and pieces. Like the standees are the big cardboard things that you see on display in a movie theater. We had pieces of those and stuff like that in a spare bedroom, and the spare bedroom was visible from the couch. And forever, anybody that came over felt like somebody was watching them from that room. We felt like somebody was watching us from that room. So we used to keep the door closed because it just always felt like somebody was in that corner. And in that house particularly is where I think me and Courtney finally realized we were both seeing the same stuff, because I didn't talk about it because I didn't want to scare her. I didn't want to make it like we've been together for like probably just under a year at that point. So it's like I didn't want to scare her and be like, "Hey, yo, I see shit all the time." So I just kind of let it go. But yeah, like I said, poltergeisty stuff moving.
How did that first initial conversation about validating each other's experiences go? Like, did
You
you
want
bring it up or did she?
um I think I did. If you want the story on that particular one, we can throw a bonus one in here.
Okay.
So, like I said, I've had a little boy that followed me for almost my entire life. Like I remember seeing him when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. I've never seen his face. I know what he looks like as far as everything else but his face. I've never seen what his face looks like, and I think he hides it from me. So I don't know what he looks like. I don't know why that is. I think he just doesn't want me to know what he looks like. But in that same house, we had an entertainment or like a shelf thing, which happens to be in my recording place right now. It is full of books right this second, so there's that. It's just over there. But used to have one of those big glass like cabinet cases for like a stereo. So like your stereo that has like multi tiers. And then like a glass door that you open. I used to see the reflection of his legs running past the couch on that side constantly. And I would see it and react, and she'd be like, what do you like? You all right? And I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. And try and play it off because I didn't want to scare her. I didn't want to make her feel like I was crazy. Like like I said, we'd only been together for like, like I said, almost a year at that point. So it was like, I don't know I don't really want to do that. Uh, I let it slip one day that I had seen the legs in the reflection, and she stopped and looked me dead in my face and said, "You see that too?" And I said, "Wait, what do you mean?" And she described him, and I was like, "I had no idea that you were seeing that. I think that's the little boy that follows me because it looks like a little kid from what I can see." So yeah, and then we had to have a conversation about how I'd seen stuff most of my life. So yeah.
I have to imagine that was very validating for you.
Uh, yes and no. It's one of those things where like because I've lived with it for so long, it's kind of like, if you um try like I didn't feel like I was crazy to begin with because I know what I've seen, and my sisters have also seen it. My dad's also seen stuff like that. So like I didn't grow up thinking, "Oh, I'm crazy. I'm seeing stuff that's not there," or what. I grew up being like, "Oh, my sister saw this," or "Oh, this is a thing," which I will bring up in the second scary story. So if anything, it almost made me feel bad actually, because I felt like I thrust her into this world of like now she's going to start seeing stuff. And even when my daughters talk about seeing stuff, and both of them have seen things, and I think Lincoln tends to see the like darker things, and that makes me sad because she's the little one. So when she's visibly shaken by something she saw, I have no choice but to try and validate it. So like it just kind of, I don't know, it makes me, it's less validating, more like a little shamey, I guess. I don't know.
Looking forward to your future blog post someday about paranormal parenting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll have to start working on that one now.
I cannot imagine anything that has to be very difficult as a parent, especially when it's your own personal experience that you are like struggling to understand
mhm.
too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So with that, I will lead into the second one. And you don't necessarily have to look up the definition of this. It's pretty simple, but apparitions. So it's like physically seeing a ghost, like whatever they look like, whether it's full bodied, so you see the whole thing, or just a face, or just a body, you know, pieces, or the vague shroudy shape of a person. So I talked about the Victorian lady before,
Hmm.
and the Victorian lady, I like one of the things that I can, like to a T picture and see because I've seen her enough times. She's got a purple dress. It's like trimmed in black. So like think a, big poofy bottom dress, corseted. It's like a super like brilliant, deep, like violet, like almost as close to like plum as you can get before you
Hmm.
start before you stop being able to tell that it's purple. And then it's trimmed
Okay.
in like a black lace. She's got
What a
her hair.
very good
Yeah,
description.
yeah,
I can picture that dress perfectly right
yeah.
now. Cheers
Well,
to
good.
that.
She's got her hair up in like a super tight bun. Uh, she's got maybe I don't want to say it's bangs. I think she has a little bit of hair covering her face, but again, I think she tries to shroud her face so we can't see it. Um, and she's pretty pale, but it's hard to tell she's pale because she's pale or pale because she's a spirit. I don't know. That much I don't know. But her hair's black. She almost floats. Like you could tell it's a walk, but because of the dress, she almost looks like she's floating. Like the dress never moves. She just is graceful in that way. But she likes to move from like a room to another room. So like my oldest sees her every once in a while going through a hallway, and that's where we first saw it, me and my sisters. And we didn't know we had all saw the same thing, so there was that was fun. um but she likes to go like down a hallway, or from a hallway to a bedroom, or a hallway to a bathroom, so you only see her for a split second. And sometimes she'll catch your attention, and as soon as you realize that she's standing, she's gone. She moves.
You
And
said this is at your mom's house or just,
just in general, I've seen her. The first time I saw her, and this is where we were going, I guess. But
oh, sorry.
no, you're fine. The first time I remember seeing her, uh, me and my sister, my oldest sister, my room was at the end of a hallway. So like the hallway terminated into my door, and then her room was uh, adjacent to my room. So her door was adjacent to my door. So both of our doors were at the end of the hallway. I was playing on the floor, minding my business. I looked up, and I thought it was my sister walking down the hallway to go to her room. And when I looked up, I realized it was definitely not my sister, and she turned around and went the other direction. So when I got up, because I was scared to go to my sister's room, she was like, "Will you stop playing in the hallway?" And I was like, "I wasn't in the hallway." And she was like, "I just saw you go past my door." And I was like, "You saw the thing too?" And she was like, "What thing?" And then I told her what I saw, and she was like, "I didn't see that, but I definitely thought you were in the hallway." And then maybe a month or two later, I came home from school, and she had either like stayed home or gotten home earlier or whatever it was, but she was home before me, and she was sitting on the stairs out front. And I was like, "Why are you sitting out here?" And thinking like maybe she like locked herself out. I don't know. Um, and she was like, "I saw that woman you said you saw, and I just didn't want to be in the house by myself." And it was like, huh, okay, well, damn. And that was in Maryland. So that was when I was like, I don't know, like I said, 7 or 8. I think I was like 7 when we moved to that house. So like I said, 8 years old maybe. It was wild.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Especially for your sister to see her too.
hmm And all three of my sisters, all three of us, both of my sisters and myself have seen it. My oldest daughter has seen it. I don't know if Courtney has. I'd have to ask her if she's specific, if she could make out that that's what she's seen specifically. But um, yeah, we saw her, like I said, from two different directions, and with like two different contexts in that moment. And then for her to see what I described, and you know, that's just kind of what it is. I know.
So have your sisters seen her at other locations that are not your mom's house that you know
Um,
of?
that I don't think so. I think that they usually just see her at my mom's house specifically. I've seen her at my house currently, so like there's that. This is, like I said, it's the only one that I've seen in the current house I am in. So yeah.
This is a future message to your wife, Courtney. Girl, DM me your address because I'm buying you sage as a Christmas present. I just need you to walk through and burn it all out, free yourself of all this dark energy. Like,
Yeah.
but you said you've had experiences with spirits, apparitions, poltergeists,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call them, spirits in your home that you do not believe are trying to cause you harm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only one thing that I've ever felt negative energy from, and because this October happens to have 3 Mondays, I decided I was going to save that story for the last one, and yeah, we'll just build it from there. But yeah, the dark thing is definitely a different story, but such is
Okay.
life. Yeah.
I will prepare accordingly for next week's ep. Thank you so much for the advance warning. Okay. Well, I know I am your biggest critic, especially with all things paranormal in terms of like not really ever having experiences. Like I don't see Victorian women in my house,
Yeah.
anything like that. But I do have one specific event that occurred to me that I believe was something paranormal, and it has to do with my mom.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the story.
So back in the day, I was a junior in college. I was sorority chapter president. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I was a big kid. Still trying to figure that out, but very stressful time in my life. But I also recently, at that point, had my little sister come to the same college. She rushed my same sorority, and we both lived in the sorority house together. It was very much giving high school bickering. We definitely had lives outside of each other. She was a completely different major. We ran in different friend groups inside of our sorority. We were very much still very different. We actually had a hard time convincing some of our sorority sisters that we came from the same parents, just because so I have an aunt that's crazy that I don't talk to, got back to me that she had done a 23andMe, and my grandfather, who we thought for most of his life was Native American, was actually African American. So my mom would have been 25% Black, and I am 1/8.
Yeah. There you go.
There's Leadwater where I went to high school. Math's hard. Sorry. You cannot tell looking at me because I look European as shit. My sister has very dark coloring. Like she went to the Dominican once. She was outside for like 2 days. Got so dark that Dominican Republic citizens were coming up to her, just like speaking fluent Spanish because they thought that's where she was from. So we don't look very much alike. I think we sound the exact same, like our voices, the way we speak, our dialect, our emphasis on certain parts of words, where we don't look anything alike. But we had several sorority sisters tell us, like, I can hear one of you talking down the hall, and I have to physically walk into the room to figure out which one it is. So we were in common areas all the time. Also, we're at each other's throats all the time too. So it was like a repeat cycle of bickering about stupid shit, letting it be a bigger deal than it needed to be. While I am also dealing with a lot of stress, I was actually dating my now husband, who was a trooper through all of it. So one day I'm in my sorority house. I'm in the sorority house in my single, which was a big deal. Older members got single rooms to themselves down in the basement. So it was quieter, much better digs than like the doubles upstairs on the top floor. And I'm in a passed out, dead to the world nap. Like I'm talking about one of the naps where you wake up and you have no fucking clue what year it is. You're like, what? Like it takes you a while to get reacquainted to what even time of the day is it, what day of the week is it, like a good ass nap. Super sleep deprived, typical college student. My sleep's all over the place. My nutrition is garbage. And my sister and I are at each other's fucking throats. I'm in a dead sleep and I hear and feel a voice, a mouth in next to my ear that tells me family is everything. And as soon as I'm aware of that thought, I hear a knock on my door and it's my sister coming to my door to try and come and talk to me and make up with me.
Oh.
Like distinctly was jarred awake from this nap by that happening to me and then heard the knock. My sister is really the only person that I've ever told that to. I maybe believe it was possibly like sounded similar to my mother's voice. Unfortunately, at this point, that was years ago, and I don't really have the best recollection of that happening to me. But my sister's in there, and it's like a good, decent couple minutes where she's trying to have a conversation with me and like, what's your schedule for this weekend? Like, when are we leaving? When are we driving home? What are we doing with dad? All these things that she's trying to like warm up and like approach. Hey, I'm a dipshit and so are you, but like, let's still be sisters and love each other kind of thing, which is what happened all the time. And I am like nothing. I'm giving her nothing in the conversation because I'm literally so like, did that just happen to me? And also it was a good ass fucking nap. So that was a great nap. College naps hit so different. Like those were great. But yeah, it was super disorienting. I'm still not completely convinced that that's maybe what it was. I have no other type of experience like it to educate me further. I feel in my gut that maybe it was something paranormal that was related to my mom. I don't know if it's something where she could like step across and just poke a little. Yeah. To ease us into reconciling because we are all that we had and, you know, sometimes still continue to only have each other. But that's one thing that I keep randomly pops into my head is just that short sentence that family is everything. At the same side of that coin, family doesn't have to be blood related. Yeah. Have you ever heard that saying, what is it? Blood is thicker than water. Mm-hmm. People get that saying wrong all the time.
Yeah, they do. Please enlighten if you know it, because I appreciate this.
So, super Southern Bible Belt roots will tell you blood is thicker than water. Your family is everything. Your family comes first. And they typically, you know, I've been told blood is thicker than water. Okay. The actual correct full saying is the blood of the bond is thicker than the water of the womb, meaning that the people that we choose to allow into our lives and give them space, that is a stronger, thicker, more significant connection than those that you happen to be born around. In my extended family fuckery is what we will call it, I guess. That is very much my experience, where the people that you choose to spend your time with, that you allow, that you make an effort to put into your life that are not necessarily blood related, those are more significant relationships than the water of the womb, which, so if that was my mom telling me family is everything, I also am fully educated about what her family was like and what she kind of, you know, all of the tea stuff that we don't have to get into, but like there's room. It's not it's not completely black and white being told family is everything. That is, there's definitely gray area in that sentiment. And I'm really happy that you knew that too, man. Look at you.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Sayings are a thing where, like, if somebody hits me with a saying, I'm gonna go look it up because I want to know what you're actually telling me. And that's one of those ones where, like, my mom's from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, so like those old sayings, they don't get past them. They understand what they meant, and they'll be like, that ain't what that meant. And then they'll be like, go look it up. And then you go look it up and it's like, oh shit, that ain't what that meant. So no. And I think that is 100% accurate. And I would like to believe that is your mom because I've had experiences similar to that. So I will say that your mom saw her like beautiful daughters at odds and was like, if I could do one thing, I just want to see them fix it. And she found a way to say, dummies, fix it. So
Yeah,
good job.
idiots. Fuck your nap, Kaitlin.
It's like the best nap ever, and that's another reason why I would agree that it was probably your mom because she found a time where you would be the most receptive to it, and you weren't going to be defensive, you weren't going to be able to tune it out, you weren't going to be distracted, you were at your most bandwidth accessible, and.
So are you saying if I was less guarded and anxious, I would probably be having maybe more experiences like this?
I think so. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. That's one of those like I see less now than I did when I was younger, and I honestly think it's because of the openness of my mind and the ability to perceive things as they are and not perceive things as like the world has taught me to see them. And I think that this is like super like tinfoil hat-y, I guess, if you want to go there. But like, I think the babies hold the secret to like the universe, the secret to life, and that's why you can't talk. And that's why some babies are super expressive and already have personalities because they've been here before. They know what the things are, and that's why you can't remember back to when you were a baby because all of those memories have to fade in order for you to live through life, and you have to forget those secrets because you were the closest to the other side as anybody could ever be and be alive. So it's like,
oh hell, Matt.
That's where I'm at.
I'm gonna say next year's Halloween special, we should meet up and go on a ghost hunting adventure.
Yeah, I'm down for that. That'd be a fun one. We'll have to try and see if we can work something like that out. That'd
be a blast.
Cool. Yeah. I don't know. I'm glad that this episode took the turn that it took, and we are slightly short on time. So I will kind of hit it on a different note and scrap the notes that I have a little bit. But I still do want to know what your opinion about zombies are, because that's like I said, I kind of like want to hear like what are your like, do you just like not like zombies? Why don't you like zombies, or why are you like
circling back? Oh God. Okay, so multifaceted issue here. Zombies. First and foremost, I am a huge control freak, so being in a zombie apocalypse, where I'm not only having to deal with zombies, other humans, supply chain issues, no internet, no Wi-Fi, no Instagram, God forbid. I'm kidding. That already makes me very violently physically uncomfortable. I really started being fearful of zombies when The Last of Us came out, the video game. I've never played the video game, but I watched when PewDiePie did his playthrough of it on YouTube, and then later Julian Salamita played through it years later, and I watched it. I watched it on HBO Max. I thought it was the best adaptation of something, either like everybody always says the book was better than the movie. Mm-hmm. I thought that they did justice to the video game while also taking some creative liberties. It was beautifully done, but that also meant that it was fucking terrifying. I don't know. Maybe I'm extra fearful now that I have children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just very fearful of zombies. And I also, so the very first nightmare that I ever had about zombies was during the zombie apocalypse at my dad's house, which is a larger house that he was very pro 2A, had firearms. But in my dream, he had kitted out his house to be like an impenetrable zombie apocalypse fortress. So in my dream, I'm with a long rifle out one of the windows, yelling for my sister to hurry up and run through the front yard because this giant metal wall was coming down and she was being chased by a huge horde of zombies. And I'm just sitting there trying to kill as many as possible while my sister's running terrified to me. And I'm just hoping that she makes it to the window on time. woke up, cold sweat, panicked, had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
It was very much different than one of those college naps.
So your zombie dreams sound similar to my zombie dreams, and when we did the research on it. Yeah, so what it is your control freak thing that you said you have. I assume at this time your sister probably had some sort of something's going on, or you and her had some sort of something's going on, and that door that was closing was fear of your relationship being closed off to each other for something, and you were trying to help her and her problems but could not for whatever reason, and that was your subconscious telling you that. And my dreams were the same thing. I was unemployed and felt useless to the world, and it was, you know, right up the same alley where I was trying to save everybody, and no matter what I did, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get them. And that was the lesson I had to learn, is that like those problems weren't mine to solve. I was getting myself killed trying to save everybody else. So yeah, zombie dreams have like, it's such a weird brain fucky thing, man.
Well, I must be a dumb bitch because I'm still trying to learn that lesson.
No, I didn't say I learned it. I just said that's what they told you to tell me.
That's what it is. Welcome to Home's Room, where you get a side of maybe a little bit scary during our special fun Halloween episodes, and also a little bit of dream interpretation too.
Yeah.
But it's very odd for me to have vivid dreams and vivid nightmares, because I don't remember my dreams ever. So for those two to be the things that are most vivid to me in my dreams, and then actually wake up and still remember and have a physical reaction to them, is very abnormal compared to my like night to night sleeping patterns.
Yeah. So what I want is for people to message in your nightmares, your dreams, whatever it is, if you remember, and crazy ones, whatever it is. I would love to hear them. We also have available on Spotify. I think you can do it if you click the link on Apple. It might take you to Spotify, but you can do a voice like memo and send it to us, telling us that thing. And I think that would be amazing. And you know, if you're down with it, maybe we play your dream on the podcast, because like I think hearing about people's dreams are crazy, and I have ridiculous dreams. They are not ones that I generally talk about. Like I would tell you off the air, but I don't know that I would broadcast them. That's how ridiculous they are. So, yeah, I don't even tell Courtney my dreams half the time. So there's that. But
well, maybe in the future we can have a dream interpretation episode, but it's going to be a while, Matt, because I would genuinely, I do not remember. I don't recall mine.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I just pretend like I don't, so I don't get asked about them when Courtney's trying to figure it out.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Court.
Maybe that should be like, we'll have to do like a season bingo, and like that'll just be on there is if they hear you say sorry, Court, on an episode, that'll be a bingo thing.
Fuck.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, like I said, I think zombie dreams are more important than people realize. They're telling you more than you think, and it's not just about like being afraid or being horror-ish or anything like that. So yeah.
So your third book is finished. Why did you choose to write about zombies and the zombie apocalypse? This is the third in your series. Yep. Will
Correct.
It be the last?
I want it to be the last, but people that have like pre-read it are like, so there's more, right? So yeah, I don't know. I lived with that. I lived with Mark in my head for a really long time, and Mark is the main character. So like, I'm sure I could find him if I tried, but I don't know if I want to try or not. I think that guy deserves whatever end he ends up with, and I think he deserves to be in that place. But no, so what started it was originally I like that you said kitted out when you talked about your dad's house, because that was, so I that's tactical jargon if you were unaware. So originally I was writing a story. I was super excited to write this story because I thought I was going to be like the most badass like tactical writer ever. And it was a story about a security team going in to protect a doctor, and he had the detection device for discovering that like a biological zombie virus was, out there, and he had the device that detected it, and they had to get him from point A to point B, and it was going to be super, like I said, tactical and, military-ish. And I was in a writing project with a couple of friends, Spencer, Kinsey, and Sean from What the Bleep. And Sean had some stuff go on and dropped out, and then Spencer had some stuff and moved away. And I was like, well, fuck, man, like I'm trying to write, I'm trying to do all this stuff. This is stupid. And I deleted a folder that had the script I was writing in it, because I was like, well, if I can't get this done by myself, I was the one with the least knowledge on how to do this. And also in that folder was that story that started out as, the super tactical zombie apocalypse story. And when I was unemployed, had nothing else to do, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start writing on that story again. And I couldn't find it, and I was mad at myself. I was like, damn. So I just started writing, and I started writing from the standpoint of a family, father, having to do some, fatherly stuff. And at that time I was a new father. Kennedy was maybe 5, I think. So like I had some perspective on that. And zombies are always a thing that I dream about. Like I said, they were always in my dreams. So I started writing some of my nightmares into my dream, or into my book, and coupling it with like the fatherhood aspect and the story of a family and what that looks like. And zombies became secondary in that story. So yeah.
That's awesome. We're going to see it on a TV screen or something someday. Promise.
That's what I hope. That would be amazing. I think that all the time. This is not like a jab, because I liked the book. Nicholas Sansbury Smith, I think is his name. He writes the Helldiver series and like Extinction Cycle series, and like those are good, but like they're written in the way that I was going to write that first story, and they might not be for everybody. He's getting an adaptation of Helldivers into a Netflix movie, I think. I don't remember, but I think that the story and the bones of what my first book is, and the overall arc of all 3 are just as good, are just as relatable, and actually reach a different like demographic. I think that, a suburban housewife can pick up Here We Remain, read it, and take something from it and be like, damn, I actually kind of liked that book, even though it was like zombie related. It was gory in some spots, and I didn't necessarily like that, but it wasn't overly gory for no reason. It wasn't, any of these other things. So
well, if as an author you feel you have told all that you can tell about Mark's story, it sounds like you have a pretty colorful universe to maybe gain more inspiration from. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
But we're all excited to read the 3rd book, Matt.
Yeah, I hope so. That one is like, I realize, that they say that it's, in your case, it's obvious, but in my case, writing, it's a little less obvious, where they say you learn more about the writer than the characters in the writing. And I discovered in finishing the 3rd book, I was on a healing journey. And the first book is where I started. The second book is where I was when I was writing. And the 3rd book is the journey to letting go and healing. And I was not expecting that. So hopefully that's one of those things where like anybody listening that has read them is like, huh, I wonder what that means. Because legitimately, I knew where the story was going to take me. I knew where I wanted it to go. I just didn't know where the stops were going to be along the way. And I'm pleasantly surprised by that.
Well, that's amazing. And super proud of you, friend, to know you and to be able to cheer you on from the sidelines while you're painting wonderful stories with gore and one of the 2 things I'm super terrified of. But of course, I will still absolutely support, read, and I'm very excited to see where else you go after it.
Yeah. When this airs, hopefully it will be a done deal and I have another job. But I'm hoping that this other job will re-inspire me to be able to write and not be so like bummed out and tired and stressed all the time as my current job is making me. So yeah, there's that. But we're kind of wrapping it up a little bit, I want to know what the That's What She Said is that you hopefully have.
Here we are. Here we are, friends. It's another week. I've only aired out all my dirty laundry about mental illness and, talked in great detail about zombies, which I'm terrified to live through the apocalypse. Of course, I have a That's What She Said this week. So, first and foremost, we are recording this in July. And I have seen a lot of hype posts on Instagram calling people out, saying that it's July. The year's already halfway over with. What are you doing? Have you done any of your New Year's resolutions? Have you checked anything off your to-do list? Have you done anything, all the intentions that you set in January? Come on, you only have this much of the year left. Like, let's go. Let's go. What are you doing, you lazy, sad sack piece of shit? And here I am going through a fun, episode of depression in the last week and a half, 2 weeks that I'm hopefully coming out of. Feels like I'm coming out of. Seeing all of it and just being very confused. So That's What She Said this week can be summarized into you are on your own journey. You are on your own race. When you set an intention, the only person who's waiting on you to finish and reach that finish line and accomplish that thing is you. Really, the only person that's putting all this pressure behind it is you. We do not have to subscribe to these alpha gym bros on Instagram telling us the what's what of what we're supposed to be doing with our time and our year. Because while he's working down dry ass fucking chicken breasts, I'm gonna go eat my pint of ice cream and watch a fun YouTube video. I'm gonna be just as happy, if not happier, than what they're doing. That being said, too, part two a little bit. If you're seeing shit on your timeline that does not serve you, help, or encourage you, tune it out. Change your algorithm. Anything that comes up on TikTok, anything that comes up on your Instagram, accounts that no longer inspire you. I think about a year ago, I started getting super intentional with the things, the accounts that I follow on Instagram. You can even follow somebody and mute them. You can unfollow them, so it still says on paper that you follow them, but you never see any of their shit. Personalize your experience to where if we're just embracing the fact that we all are going to do social media, we're going to do the socials of the medias, then make it intentional, make it a growing thing, and make it a positive experience. Especially now that we are the generation of people who are breaking generational trauma. Definitely something that we've talked about in the past too, Matt. I know that our parents didn't grow up with social media from very young ages, but we did. And now we're also doing this fun thing where we have to parent the humans that we are responsible for. And if you thought it was bad with us, it's going to be worse with them. So the patterns with social media, the things that you let occupy your brain space, they matter. So that's what she said. And I adore you all.
I love it. I just want to echo the social media thing. I am more active on Instagram than anywhere else. And I know when Instagram does the I'm going to follow this account for you bullshit, because I'll scroll and I'll come across a post that I don't understand why I would even have this is not something I enjoy. Why is this here? And I'll go to the profile and then it'll be I'm following you, but I don't remember anything from you. And then nothing on your timeline looks that familiar. And then I click on a post and then scroll down and see that I have not liked a single thing on that timeline. And that tells me instantly that Instagram did some fuckery and tried to make me follow this account. And I instantly unfollow it because I curate what my timeline looks like to being things that I want to see. And if I don't want to see it, if I don't subscribe to that way of thinking anymore, then I unfollow them. It's just the way I have to go about it to enjoy the thing that I enjoy. And if it's something that I'm currently not sure if I want to unfollow an account or just try and do some research. I wish it was an easier thing to be able to reach out to this account and be like, yo, are you homophobic? Because that's what you kind of made it seem that way. but maybe I'm just reading into it and you were making an off-color joke that just didn't land with me, but like maybe it would land with somebody else. I have no idea. So I'm stuck in this weird spot. So instead of unfollowing them or instead of getting mad every time they see their post, I just scroll past it and don't like it. So I've been seeing less and less of them in my timeline. And then if in like 3-4 weeks they pop back up and I'm like, you know what, this doesn't serve me anymore because I haven't liked a post in a month, then good. Now I'm just going to unfollow it. It doesn't matter to me because it hasn't mattered to me. So yeah, follow things that you want to follow and make yourself feel good. If you like pie, find the accounts that are posting badass pictures of pie. If you like I don't know, friggin' like pottery, find the accounts that are posting pottery. Stop following the people that are making you feel bad about yourself because fuck them.
Yeah. Also from small town living, you're under no obligation to like follow and interact with people that you know in real life and don't like. So
facts. And that is the stamp on this one. Yeah, done. Thank you for another good episode. I appreciate
absolutely,
it so
Matt. Let's do it again and again. But next week is our final fun chapter of our Halloween eps. How'd that happen already?
Right? That's crazy. I'm excited that we did this, and I'm excited that like we are putting together such a long-running thing, and I appreciate you being here for it because I don't want to do it alone, especially talking about ghosts and such. That would probably be more traumatic.
Happy to be here. The only thing I'll charge you is extra time covering up all my curse words and F-bombs when you're editing. So
yeah, that's why we have the explicit tag. So fuck that, and we're out.
Bye, guys.
The bell is about to ring. If you want to drop us a voice message or simply ask a question, you can do that by clicking the link in the show notes below. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review. It helps more people find us. Theme music by Kinsey. More music available on Spotify. Remember, every day is a class. Go learn something.